This period brought to you by the new 2014 Toyota Camry, our most remarkable Camry yet.
Rogers Arena in Vancouver, where the Canucks look to break a 4-game winless skid against a Panthers team that is 2-3 since making a coaching change. Starting goaltenders, and a lot of talk about these two. They're brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL. First appearance for Tim Thomas in this building since June 15th, 2011. He left that night with both a Stanley Cup and a Conn Smythe Trophy. Meanwhile, it's been 8 years since Roberto Luongo last played for the Panthers, but he remains the franchise leader in wins, a distinction he also holds here with the Vancouver Canucks. Kevin Bieksa points in 2 straight games. He leads Vancouver's defense corps with 11 points on the season. Brian Campbell has that honor in Florida. 12 points for Campbell, who went the first 17 games without scoring a goal, but he's got 3 in his last 4 outings. First 2 meetings between these two, as they'll hook up again in March in Florida. And the Canucks desperately wanting this one. Their coach may not look at the standings, but everybody else does. And you want to keep pace, and when you go a week without producing a victory, John, it can make a huge difference in your outlook when you look at how things rank in the Western Conference.
And lost in all this lack of scoring is the fact that Roberto Luongo, his last 9 starts, he's only allowed more than 2 goals once in those 9 starts, and that was that LA game where he got the hook.
Canucks control the opening draw. Bieksa ahead to Henrik Sedin, who deflects the puck into Florida territory. Thomas out for his first touch. Plays the puck around the boards, blocked by Burrows, who passes in deep for Daniel Sedin. Puck poked away from him by Campbell. And Tom Gilbert over to pick it up. No stranger to games with Vancouver is Gilbert after time in Edmonton and Minnesota. He ices the puck. We'll check in with Murph.
Well, guys, Roberto Luongo didn't want to talk too much about Tim Thomas's return, saying it's old news, but that doesn't mean Strombone 1 didn't want to. Just at Canadian Tire, picking up a few essentials for tomorrow's big tilt was his tweet yesterday with a picture of course, a tire pump.
Always entertaining.
Yes.
Face-off win for Marcel Gottsch. Campbell gets the puck, finds Thomas Kopetsky, who lifts it out to center ice, knocked down by Burrows, with the puck picked up by Gottsch, who moves in on the left wing and shoots one wide of the goal. Bieksa back to pick up the puck. Passes to Ryan Stanton. Long feed to center, picked off by Campbell as Stanton was trying to send Daniel Sedin. Here's Thomas Fleischmann off the bench and into the action. Bieksa takes the puck away, sends it over the head of Kulikov, and this will be icing against Vancouver, with the Sedins and Burrows still out there. And the defense the same as well, 55 seconds into the game.
John Tortorella shuffling the lines and getting Ryan Kessler back with Mike Santorelli. And I think that combination, I like looking for some kind of chemistry to produce some goals.
First, they like to come up with a puck and be able to facilitate a change, and Stanton will do his part in that, getting the puck to Daniel Sedin, who tips it to the Florida blue line. And the Canucks start to make substitutions as the Panthers start up ice. Here's the Calder Trophy winner, Jonathan Huberdeau, but he lost the puck, and the Canucks get it ahead to Kessler. Slap shot, blocker save for Thomas. And the puck picked up by Huberdeau, who advances it to Fleischmann. Chris Tanev back to collect the puck. And Tanev starts from deep in his own zone. Up the middle to center, he flips the puck into Florida territory. Santorelli moves in on Matt Gilroy. He gets the puck around to the far side. Scotty Upshall is there. Upshall ahead for Brad Boyes. He chases after the puck on Dan Hamhuis. Pokes it around for Barkov. Alexander Barkov, the 18-year-old. Didn't turn 18 until early September. And a shot by Upshall, now gloved by Luongo, who hangs on despite the fact it was heading wide.
One of the things Tim Thomas could count on in Boston was people taking the rebounds away. Here's the shot by Kessler, and look at the rebound. Right there. And that time he had some help. Right down the middle. He doesn't have Zdeno Chara or Dennis Seidenberg or Johnny Boychuk. You go up and down that Bruin defense. Florida doesn't have that kind of defensive mindset.
Jimmy Hayes, who came over in the Christopher Steak deal, out for this face-off, and he'll take it against Zach Kassian after Brad Richardson was waved out. Richardson between Kassian and Hansen. And the Canucks come up with the puck with Richardson flipping it into Florida territory. He moves in on Gilbert, who works the puck to Campbell. Couldn't get it by Garrison, moved down for the right point. Here's Richardson swatting at the puck. There's going to be a penalty here, I think, to Jannik Hansen for running through the goal crease and hitting Tim Thomas. Delayed penalty. Campbell moves up ice on the right wing. Campbell centers, and a great save by Luongo, who stopped the rebound as well.
The whistle went.
The whistle had gone before Hayes put the second rebound in. It'll stay scoreless, but the Panthers go to the power play.
And the reason the whistle went was because Roberto Luongo was deemed to have control and the penalty is being called.
36 Vancouver, minor penalty, goaltender interference.
So Hansen to the box for contacting the goaltender in the Florida end.
Jannik Hansen going to the net, and he does make contact with the goaltender. Here's the Roberto makes the original save, second save. The whistle goes before it's knocked in and immediately waved off by the referee.
They're going to talk to Toronto, but once the referee says the whistle had gone or I'd intended to blow the whistle, we all know the drill. You can't overturn that, and you could actually hear it in that replay. So that's what Kyle Raymond, who's on the headset, will be telling them. And certainly the Canucks will take the trade-off if it's minor penalty versus being down 1-0.
There's Peter Horacek, who we've seen over the years behind the Nashville bench with Barry Trotz.
After review, calling the ice stand, just no goal. Luongo makes a save. Possession, no goal.
Wow, he's got a future in broadcasting. Full analysis.
Yes, that's right. And Roberto does, okay, the original save and the second one, that's where he's deemed to have control. When it was on his pad, he had control.
Panthers with the 30th rank. I've ever heard in my entire life.
Fortunate that quick whistle went, but again, Brian Campbell pushing it. Instead of a 3-on-2, he made it a 4-on-2, and Brian Campbell right now skating the best he has all season.
Hayes came over in the trade for Chris Versteeg from Chicago. This is his second game. Played well Saturday night in Colorado. Campbell able to hold it in for Upshaw. Under pressure from Henrik Sedin. Bieksa pushes it down the ice. So nothing doing so far, nearly midway through this power play after the tough break and no goal for the Panthers.
You mentioned the Canucks number one on the penalty kill. They killed 28 of 29 in the last 9 games.
Alex Edler checked by Boys. Upshaw there. Scramble is on. Barkov works it free. Kulikov now at the point. Over to Campbell. Cross ice. Barkov plays it off the wall. Makes a nice move and then sets up Campbell. Moving in, winding up and shooting. He misses the net high. Nice little play there by Barkov, who gets it to Kulikov again, and the wrister knocked down in front. Boys with a shot blocked away. Barkov with the backhand, and then they score! Barkov hit the post, but Brad Boys on the power play with his 8th of the year, and the Panthers are off and running in Vancouver.
The Panthers scored the first goal in back-to-back games. Perseverance. Second chance rebound opportunity. Just getting to that net, getting bodies to the net, and finally, they hit the goal post, and the Panthers just allowed to stand around right on the stick of Brad Boys. Little play by Barkov, started it all, simple play, bodies in front. Upshaw does a good job getting to the front of the net, causing a distraction against Luongo. That shot went off the post, but it bounced right on the stick of Brad Boys, and Luongo is doing the Michael Phelps in the net. He's swimming all over the place. And Brad Boys gets number 8 in the Panthers power play, strikes against this number 1 penalty killing group.
3 goals last 4 games. And the Panthers this year, 4-2-1 or 3-2-1 when Brad Boys scores a goal. And that's a big one. I thought Barkov had it on the backhand. He had some room, but that hit the post, but right over to Boys. Boy, those goal scorers always in the right spot, aren't they?
All right, how about the second and third chances already in this game? On the disallowed goal, they get to a rebound. Couple shots there, a couple shots.
Burrows the other way. Shoulder save by Thomas. Off the rebound, goes to the boards. Hamhuis pushes it to the corner. Gotch is there. Double team. Knocked away by Burrows. Then Gotch plays it around. Hamhuis again. Gotch steals again. Winchester with Henrik Sedin on him. Henrik Sedin with a steal. Up high for Hamhuis. The slap shot. Thomas. The save. The rebound. He's got it. Oh, Burrows was right there, but Tim Thomas was able to smother it with the glove.
Alexander Barkov, for a big guy, he's got very good hands in traffic. He starts this whole play. Watch this quick move right there against Santorelli, and then the cross and pass. The pass across, and then Upshaw, the commitment to get to the front of the net. Luongo made a number of saves, but they just stick with it. And finally, Brad Boyce gets a goal, but Barkov started it all with that nice little move on the sideboards.
Off the faceoff, Edler at the point holds it in, fires wide, carries to Huberdeau, chips it out. Here comes Bjugstad, 2-on-2. Fleischmann is with him. Bjugstad sets up Fleischmann. He's got a chance, but goes wide. Good Branson plays it around the boards. Fleischmann again. And now Bjugstad. Up high for Kulikov. Huberdeau gets to the front of the net. And Fleischmann along the wall. Cross-ice pass. Has Kulikov. Shot. Save Luongo. Rebound. Bjugstad couldn't get a backhander on goal. Now Fleischmann fans on the shot attempt. Loose puck. Kulikov takes a swipe at it. And Luongo jumps out and grabs it. And boy, the Panthers are off to an offensive start here tonight, just pushing around that net.
The Canucks are under siege. That play started with a good chip in their own end. Right now, Vancouver feeling the pressure from the Panthers. Good puck movement, quick. But look at the bodies in front. Huberdeau's there. Bjugstad never quits on the play, but a lot of stick checking from the Canucks. The Panthers are allowed to stand around. The Canucks are not putting anyone on the seat of their pants, and the Panthers are getting to those loose pucks. Weissman just banned on that one.
Welch won that faceoff in his own end. Panthers get it to the line, and then Hayes pops it into the offensive zone. Panthers are on the board here in Vancouver. Brad Boyce on the power play, his 8th of the year. Barch with a big hit as Stanton got the puck out of his zone. Barkov and Upshaw get the helpers, and the Panthers, guys like Boyce and Upshaw, really picking it up offensively. Tom Gilbert off the 3-assist game Saturday in Colorado. Throws it out to center. Bieksa got it to the Panther line, but Sestito was still in the zone. The play is offside.
Chris Barch, you need a fourth line to be physical. Stanton, and boom, just lowers that shoulder. That is perfect, that is clean, and that's how you play hockey. And the Panthers doing a lot of good things to start this game. Chris Barch knows his role. He's very effective at it. There he lowers the boom.
I like seeing him in that lineup on a regular basis. He can play a regular shift for you, Barch, and has the toughness. Once again, the Panthers starting games much better than they had for the early portion of the season. Henrik Sedin throws one on goal, and Tim Thomas not taking any chances. Pantherland at the BB&T Center will be open for a holiday shopping Thanksgiving week. Get your jerseys, hats, kids apparel, and more. Saturday, November 30th. That night, the Panthers play the Penguins. Pantherland is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so get your red on. Look at Mike Motto back in the lineup again, called up from AHL San Antonio, where they won again today. Jacob Markstrom had a big game. And Vinny Trocheck now, 3 more points. He's got 18 in 17 AHL games for the Panthers. 9 goals. He's been red hot. Sedin in behind the Panther net. That's Henrik. Plays it up the boards. Tanev stepped up to put it in the corner. Now loose in front. Burrows sets up a shot from Henrik. And that's stopped by Tim Thomas. Panthers couldn't clear. Thomas again fends off a shot. Now Daniel Sedin over to brother Henrik behind the net. Sedin, the captain, holding at the goal line in the backhand, puts it right in front. Thomas got the goal stick on it. Vancouver, pretty good response on this shift after the Panthers had some pressure, but now Bjugstad out to center. Huberdeau with him on the wing. Huberdeau's got it. Cross ice behind Fleischmann. He spun around along the boards. Huberdeau there to help out. And Huberdeau at the blue line, looking for some help and some room. hangs onto the puck, throws it in front, it deflected on goal. Gotch now behind the net. Panthers winning these one-on-one battles here. Fleischmann. Again, now Gilbert throws it in front, tipped away by Hamhuis. Gotch able to control. Gilbert. Cross ice for Campbell. Winchester and Kopetsky both right in front of the net. Now it's Gotch up high. Fakes the shot. Gives over to Gilbert. Full puck possession here. Panthers looking for a shooting lane. Gilbert has it. Takes the shot. Knocked down in front, though, by Tanev. And Henrik Sedin got it to center. Tom Gilbert waits for the play to get onside and sends Kopetsky right back in. Kopetsky gets to the forehand. Blocked away by Hamhuis. And cleared all the way through to center. Gilbert cut it off there. Fired all the way down, and this should be an icing, and it is. 12:29 to go here in the first, and a strong start for the Panthers again.
It has been. And for the Panthers, you can come out ready to play. Vancouver's been struggling, and again, look at Gotch up high. Campbell goes low. Just good support all around. And bodies in front. Campbell just never stops moving. And then look at the puck. Stick to stick, and finally the shot on net. The puck movement, the positioning in the offensive zone, so much better for the Panthers. They're a great example.
We'll do it again off the faceoff here. Barkov had won that one cleanly.
The movement, continuous movement. Never stop moving your feet, and the puck movement's quick. Right now, Vancouver just not keeping up with the Panthers.
I mean, the Panthers over the last 3-4 games, they just look like a different team. It's really remarkable. Barkov using the big body, the nifty pass to Upshaw. Gilroy, though, couldn't hold it in. There's no icing here as Motto gets back ahead of Kassian. And Gilroy in deep. Canucks try to work the forecheck. And Hansen able to control. Kassian, though, couldn't control behind the net. He'll go to the corner with Gilroy. Those two bang. There to help out was Barkov. But Kassian on the ice blocked it with his body. Now played up the boards. Edler able to hold it in. Hansen again. He took the penalty, the goalie interference that gave the Panthers the power play when Boys scored. Jason Garrison takes a shot, deflected in front, never got to the net. Edler, he fires from the sharp angle. Bouncing puck, Barkov gloves it down, gives to Boys, and he'll flip it out.
Panthers got justice for that no goal on Hayes on that power play attempt. Got it right back, so all's well that ends well.
Oh, Goodbranson steps up on Edler, and Eric Goodbranson has been physical of late and doing it in a very controlled way.
He leads the team with 54 hits, and he's been punishing, but clean hits. Saw that hit by Barch, and then that one by Goodbranson. That's so critical, too. If you want to do it, you got to do it cleanly.
And here comes Goodbranson, but Stanton closed on him. Garrison backhands around the boards, stopped in the corner. Kessler tries for the clear, tips around. Now the Canucks get out. And Stanton gets the center. He'll gain the Panther line and throw one on net. Tim Thomas grabs it, and he will hold on. The Panthers trying to make it 2 in a row on the road and 3 of their last.
Tickets between November 4th and 25th to any November home game and be automatically entered to win 2 lower bowl tickets to the Canucks Bruins game December 14th. Player signed jersey and a team signed stick. Plus, the Canucks will donate $5 for each ticket sold to Movember Canada, a charity that helps combat prostate cancer and mental health challenges. No mustache necessary. Go to Canucks.com/tickets for more info.
That sounds better. We're back. We apologize for technical problems we were having, but Sportsnet Pacific is with you now, and the Canucks trailing 1-0, just past the 9-minute mark of the first period. Kevin Bieksa with the puck, turning deep in his own zone. Passes past Fleischmann to Santorelli, who's forced back and now under pressure. Bieksa trying to help him out, gets the puck to the line, held in. Tom Gilbert finds Bukestad. Now Fleischmann tried a sharp angle shot, and that's off Stanton out of play.
Get an oil change by December 15th and get a free gift. Michelin Hybrid Wiper Blades. Get your coupon at MrLube.com.
There was an example where Kevin Bieksa had time and decided he'd carry it a little bit instead of throwing it to Mike Santorelli right away. And then Santorelli was in trouble, and the Panthers were right on them.
Tanev gets the puck off this defensive zone draw, passes back for Hamhuis, who rings around. Gilroy read that and held the puck in. Here's Mathias, checked by Hamhuis. Henrik Sedin passes back to Chris Tanev, and he slides one up the middle of Henrik. Henrik Sedin to Daniel Sedin, down the left wing, slap shot, and Thomas knowing Daniel had no other option really, challenged well and made the save. Murph.
Guys, Play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Vancouver player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Doug Morrison of Vancouver could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway, and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Now, John, we saw Alex Burrows with a snow shower before. This is more of a snow shower. Here comes Henrik. You see that it had both feet involved.
Here's Burrows, wraparound attempt. Thomas over to make the save. Burrows going to draw a penalty here as Kulikov hit him into the end boards. Luongo heading to the bench for the expert attacker as the Canucks try to keep possession of the puck, but there's the whistle. And it'll be Kulikov heading to the penalty box.
If you were searching for a career within Canucks sports and entertainment, which BCIT programs could lead you there? Take the Canucks Career Challenge and be entered to win a pair of tickets to a Canucks game. Go to Canucks.com/BCIT to enter.
Are you sure he went there?
Yes, he's a graduate. Here's a wraparound try by Alex Burrows. Good try, good save by Tim Thomas. Now Dmitry Kulikov, right in the numbers, in that danger zone, and he's off for boarding.
I'm kidding, of course. There's a statue of Murph at BCIT. They think so highly of him. Here's a breakaway, shorthanded. Marcel Gotch in alone on Luongo. Gotch peeks. Luongo poke checked him as it looked like Gotch had him on the forehand. Stays 1-0 after the Canucks gave up a great chance while on the power play. Now they'll try to tie the game as they set up with a man advantage. Bieksa at the right point. Kevin Bieksa carries down, feeds back. Alex Edler, slap shot blocked. That hurt Kopetsky. Will head to the bench. And Edler goes back for the puck. Panthers got that breakaway with 2 defensemen on the ice for Vancouver, no less. Couldn't even attribute it to forward on the point. Here's Daniel in on the left wing. Back to Edler. Touch pass to Daniel. Still with the puck. Feeds back to Edler. Edler draws the Panthers to him. Daniel stick broke. Trying to make a simple pass. Canucks work to hold the puck in as Daniel grabs a new stick at the bench and he'll head back into the play. Henrik Sedin tied up along the boards by Matthias. Puck reversed for Gilbert. He stops behind the net. Checked by Kessler who gets the puck free to Henrik Sedin again. Henrik tried to dive to get to the point. Now Edler holds it in. Pass intercepted and Campbell gets the puck out. Canucks will try to move it quickly back in. Kessler down the left wing. Drops for Daniel Sedin. Daniel drags and shoots. That's stopped by Thomas. Rebound. Kessler's after it. Thomas trying to cover, and he does. With 28 seconds to go in the Vancouver power play.
Marcel Gotch sneaks out behind after the faceoff. Is wide open. And Roberto Luongo, right pad save. Gotch goes forehand, and there's Roberto with the toe, able to kick it out.
I thought he got the stick out.
Oh, he drags that right leg around. Gotch fakes, goes forehand, and Roberto with that right leg, able to kick it out and make the stop.
Here's a shot by Garrison over top of the net. John Tortorella talked this morning about the number one thing for Garrison being hitting the net with his shot, and that one sailed up high. Now he holds the puck into the right point. In deep for Burrows. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Garrison again. Left point, Handhuse over to Garrison. Takes a look. Down to Handhuse. Couple of seconds remaining in the man advantage. Higgins gets the puck. Penalty's over. Canucks still control. Higgins in for Santorelli. Turning to get away from Goodbranson, who tripped him. Play goes on. And the Canucks work to hold the puck in the zone. Santorelli's back onto it. Mike Santorelli into the corner for Higgins. He went down under the check of Bukestad, and Higgins comes out with the puck. Good zone time. Nothing towards the goal. And Bukestad able to bring the puck out. Canucks managed 2 official shots on that man advantage, but also gave up a breakaway that Luongo had to be sharp on to keep it from being 2-0 Panthers. Garrison having trouble in his own zone. Upshaw holds the puck in. Garrison another chance. This time lifts it high, but into the penalty box, and that might be a penalty. It is. Canucks will be shorthanded.
Check out PlayNow.com and bet live during the game. If you gamble, use your game sense.
And it is going to be a penalty. Jason Garrison tried to get over to the bench.
So the puck flips, wound up in the penalty box, but never hit a stick or the glass before it went out.
Right off the toe. And you can see Jason Garrison, the golfer in him, he's leaning, he's trying to give it a little body language, but can't get it to come back.
Panthers 1 for 1 on the power play. And they go to work again. Kulikov at the line. Long slap shot. Luongo and a tip puck able to make the save. Tanev tied up, but Edler gets to it. He's able to wrist it around and out to center. The goal the Canucks gave up, just the second in the last 30 power plays they've faced. But the Panthers are in again. It's Boys once more. Stopped by Luongo. Took that shot up high. Might have been around the mast. 30 seconds elapsed in the power play. Panthers looking much more confident already, but they lose the puck here, and Richardson's able to dump it down.
That's the first 5-on-4 power play that the Canucks have given up in a long time. That other one was the San Jose 4-on-3 in overtime.
Thomas Fleischmann. Pass was too far for Huberdeau to get to. Daniel Sedin picks up the puck deep in his own zone. Dumps it back for Bieksa. And he's able to fire it off the stick of Fleischmann and down into Florida territory. Under a minute to go in the delay of game line of Jason Garrison. There's 6 minutes left, first period. Panthers leading 1-0. Fleischmann in on the left wing. Round to the near side for Bukestad. He takes the puck behind the net, throws it in front. Fleischmann was all alone, but the pass went over his stick and down the ice. 30 seconds to go in the Florida power play. Gilbert to Kopetsky. He plays one hard around to the near side. Winchester trying to hold the puck in. It comes free to Jannik Hansen, who skates quickly to center. Burrows off the bench to join him, takes a pass on the right wing. Hit the post! Wow, I didn't think he'd be able to get the shot off there. He's being checked, and somehow Burrows not only got it off, but got a lot on it. Just missed his second post in as many games as he looks for his first goal of the year. Penalty's over. And Burrows trying to lead a 3-on-2, but he knocked that puck down with a high stick. So Canucks killed the penalty and had a close call shorthanded. Alex Burrows trying to solve Thomas, came that close.
This period brought to you by the new 2014 Toyota Camry, our most remarkable Camry yet.
Canucks down 1-0, just over 5 minutes to go in the first, and John Vancouver winless in 4. And wanting to believe in all the things they're doing. They like the way they're playing, but it's got to be a challenge for the coaching staff to keep the spirits up here when you're not getting the results.
Well, that's it, and teaching confidence. You can't do that. A couple of pucks go in. Alex Burrows, 2 posts in 2 games, as you said. That good wrist shot that he just fired, half an inch the other way, and that goes in.
Jannik Hansen deflects the puck into the Florida zone. Jesse Winchester back. Passes to the far side. Kulikov right up the middle of Gotch. Marcel Gotch plays the puck into the Vancouver zone. That's the helmet of Brad Richardson laying loose in the Canucks end. He stays out there trying to check Kulikov at the point. Bieksa intercepts behind the goal. He's checked by Kopetsky, who centers the puck. It comes back to the blue line to Kulikov. Called his name a lot in this first period, Dmitry Kulikov. Gotch trying to center. Bieksa intercepts that. Check from behind. Gotch takes the puck away at center and wrists it back in. Both teams starting to change as Ryan Stanton goes back for the puck. He's being watched by Scotty Upshaw. Stanton ahead to Welsh. He deflected that one from his own side, it looked like. The play goes on. Welsh between Weiss and Tom Sestito. Sestito throws a hit at center on Boys. As the fourth line for Vancouver plays just its second shift of the game, there's a collision in the corner. Tanev back up. And Upshaw's onto the puck behind the net. Scotty Upshaw to the right point to Tom Gilbert. Other side, Campbell. Back to Gilbert. Puts one in front, hoping for a deflection from Barkov, but the puck comes to Dale Weiss, and he starts up. Plays the puck gently into the Florida zone and starts a Vancouver change. Visit Ramada.ca for best rates and special offers. As Gilbert flips the puck back behind the Vancouver goal, Alex Edler settles it, chips it off the boards, takes a hop to Henrik Sedin at center. At his pocket picked by Bukestad, who's back in on the right wing. Nick Bukestad down the boards for Huberdeau. Tied up and loses the puck, and it's thrown forward. Too hot to handle for Burrows. Puck slides through to Thomas, and he'll fall on it. after bobbling the puck a bit and then deciding a bad pass was the worst option.
Yeah.
The whistle was the better one.
The puck right up against the side of the net. And Alex Burrows, confidence is such a fragile thing. And Alex Burrows, good play right from the start on that play, and it's off the inside of the post. This one's off the outside of the post. But either way, very close and not going in. And you look at the other side, the Florida Panthers now won 2 of their last 3. They're joking around in practice and having fun because they finally got a little bit of confidence.
Winning in Denver, which has been no easy task this season. Beat the Avalanche 4-1. Here they're up 1-0, just under 3 minutes to go in the first period. Edler and Kulikov takes that and dumps the puck ahead to Kopetsky, who chops it into the Vancouver zone. Canucks start out. Henrik Sedin to Jason Garrison. Up to Alex Burrows, who overskated the puck. Now recovers to chop it down the boards. Panthers send it right back ahead, and it's held in by Bieksa, but now brought out by Mathias. Picked up by Gilroy, very scrambly in the neutral zone. And the puck comes free to Bieksa in the Vancouver end. He can't get it out. Puck thrown in front. Bieksa there to break it up. Ahead to Mike Santorelli. In on the right wing. Canucks finishing a change behind him in the neutral zone as he dumps the puck around for Stanton. Stanton with a nice move. Now the puck knocked away from him. Panthers missed it, but there to pick it up and dump it out is Mike Motta. Brought in by Jimmy Hayes. He's checked by Bieksa, and Stanton headmans the puck to Higgins, who took a look before he had full possession. Bobbled it for a second, but the Canucks able to force it deep into the Panthers' end. Inside 2 minutes remaining. And Upshaw sends one in on Luongo. He'll take the whistle. For a face-off in the Vancouver zone, here's Murph.
Well, guys, these two teams haven't played since January 9th, 2012, and that when Dale Weiss scored the Canucks' only goal. Scott Clemenson making 25 saves. It was the first Canucks game after that win in Boston, and we all know what happened after that.
Dale Weiss excited to be back after his knee problems.
Brad Richardson dumps the puck in. Thomas out to cut it off. Leaves for Brian Campbell. Gilbert up for Boyes. Luongo out of his net. Pass to the side to Dan Hamhuis. Richardson and Hansen play give and go. And Jannik Hansen slides the puck in behind the goal. Passing there for Vancouver. Puck comes free to Hansen. Gilbert's on him. Hansen trying to find some room. Puck comes to the blue line. Is past Edler. Rolls down into Vancouver territory. As we move into the final minute of the first period. Huberdeau plays the puck in. It's picked up by Zach Kassian, who drops off to Garrison. Round for Alex Edler. Fleischmann moves to check in, but Edler makes a pass ahead to Henrik Sedin. Panthers send the puck back the other way. Garrison has it. Ahead for Hansen, who chips the puck into Panther territory. Eric Branson to Kulikov. Round for Jonathan Huberdeau. He throws one. Finds a seam off the boards and down into the Vancouver zone. Pretty good chances in the first half of the first period, but they've settled down somewhat here. Shots are 13-12 Florida. Canucks will try to create a late one. Danielson on the left wing in front. Burrows couldn't make contact as he was being tied up by Gilroy. Winchester sends one in off the stick of Luongo. And that's going to do it for period 1 at Rogers Arena. Brad Boyes, the only goal on a Florida power play. And Roberto Luongo stopped 12 of 13 shots. Tim Thomas had a dozen saves as well. That's how many shots he faced in the opening period. We're going to hear from Brad Richardson in conversation with Joey Kenward. And our panel tonight, along with Dan Murphy, is Ian McIntyre and Kevin Woodley. They will convene soon as the teams take a break. 20 minutes done, and the visiting Panthers lead 1-0.
Welcome back to Vancouver, Science World, and distance there, and it's been a type of science for the Canucks to try to score. Haven't got a goal in this one. Let's take a look at the first period scoring summary, brought to you by Future Shop for the season's hottest gadgets at the best price guaranteed. Head to futureshop.ca, season's gadgets from Future Shop. Brad Boyes, his 8th on the power play. That's the only goal in this one. Canucks playing catch up again. John?
Thanks, Murph. As we get underway in period 2. Thomas versus Luongo, Canucks versus Panthers, and Vancouver used to this scenario, having to come from behind. As mentioned earlier, it was the 14th time in 23 games this season they've surrendered the opening goal. And an early icing call now against the Panthers to start period 2.
Ryan Stanton, who was rocked in the first period, you can see the mark across his nose, stood up at center ice. Good solid hit on that icing.
Kessler against Gotch on the face-off in the Florida zone. And Kessler waved out. Here's what you talked about earlier, the two centermen on the same line. Mike Santorelli able to win it. And Stanton carries the puck down the left wing boards. Gilbert trying to check him. Puck comes to Kessler, throws it blindly in front. Panthers intercept, and it's cleared out by Jesse Winchester. Wristed back in by BXer. Thomas slowed it up for Gilbert. Will stomp behind his net, flushed out by Higgins. Gilbert skates the puck forward and now sends one up off the stick of Winchester. Comes right into the Vancouver goal crease off the end boards, and Luongo will cover it up and get a whistle for the Vancouver Canucks. We want to remind you about the Subway Series. It's Russia against the Q, and it's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Puck drops on Sportsnet. What is it? National bragging rights?
Yes, that's it. That's it. And each league has the bragging rights if you do well.
Face-off win for the Panthers in the Vancouver zone. Kulikov had that one deflect off his stick and out to center. Now he recovers to drive the puck back in. Luongo, good job to cut it off for Tanev. Panthers outshot the Canucks 14-12 in the first period. And that one into the bench. Tanev wants more ice time. Coach is ducking for cover. The face-off will stay in the Vancouver zone. That'll keep everybody
alert. Yes, it will.
Mike Sullivan runs the defense. He's got a little smirk after that one came whistling his way.
Mike Bernstein ducking in beside the old goaltender Jamie Hendricks. He did not reach out and try to stop it, I might add.
Icing waved off here as Burrows had his stick lifted, and Hendricks able to hold the puck in. Down the boards for Daniel. Daniel, sharp angle shot, kicked out by Thomas. Puck clear to the side. Hendrick gets it, cutting it on goal. He shoots it. That went off Campbell, it was Huberdeau, I think, who got in front of that one, and the puck deflects over the glass.
Just a little hesitation. Daniel with the shot, rebound out to Hendrick, and Hendrick has time. Waits, and it is Huberdeau who comes out and is able to get the stick on it.
Richardson out with Hansen and Cassian for the face-off in the Florida zone. Matt Gilroy gets the puck. Held in by Hansen. Cassian behind the net for Jannik Hansen. Second game back for him. And he works with his line mates to hold the puck in the zone. Picked up by Gilroy, and he's able to backhand it off the boards and down, but that'll just result in another offensive zone face-off for the Canucks and a chance for us to check back in with Murph.
Well, guys, a bit of a light moment this morning after the Panthers had finished their morning skate. They were stretching. Peter Horacek yelled out to his team to give him a little, a little motivation. Hey, guys, come on. We've never won in this building. To which Tim Thomas replied, I have.
And naturally, it was picked up by Twitter. All Murph's followers.
Here's Alex Edler. Wristing one, blockered away by Thomas. Bruins, of course, only won one in this building in that series. The home team had won every game until Game 7. And unfortunately for Vancouver, that trend came to a sudden end. Scotty Upshall holds the puck in the Vancouver zone. Edler helps it around the boards, gets it past Gilbert, and down to the Florida blue line. Upshall's there to pick it up for the Panthers. Florida, 2 wins, 3 losses under its new coach. It took over from Kevin Dineen. Here's Jimmy Hazen. Sharp angle shot, stopped by Luongo. The rebound got by Matthias. Canucks can't clear, but now Sestito interception leaves for Jeremy Welsh. Up the right wing, Dale Weiss tried to step around Campbell. Now it'll force the puck in. Sestito's after it behind the goal. Checked by Gilbert, who headmans the puck to Sean Matthias. Weiss fell down trying to check him. But the puck picked up by Stanton, who plays it forward. Welsh takes possession of the neutral zone. Left side pass to Weiss. Weiss drops. Welsh with a slap shot. Deflected. Oh, just went wide. Tipped in front, I think, by Bieksa, and then Campbell almost steered it into his own net. But it stayed out, and it's still 1-0 with the Panthers clearing the zone. Campbell collects. Passes over to Gilbert. My brother visited us in the booth here in this game, John, during the intermission, so I should mention that's his favorite player, Tom Gilbert, because his name is Tom Gilbert Shorthouse.
Oh, wow.
Hand use in on the left wing. Slides the puck for the end boards. Kulikov couldn't come up with it. Here's Santorelli across the crease, moves puck in front. Higgins scores! Chris Higgins able to jam it past Thomas, and 3.5 minutes into the second, he ties the game at 1.
Was it pretty?
No.
No. Will the Canucks take it?
Yes.
Well, naturally. Good hard work along the boards, and this is what the Canucks need. They're struggling scoring goals. Control the boards. Good hard forward check, control the boards. Brought out by Mike Santorelli, and Chris Higgins just slides it and goes under Tim Thomas. Marcel Gottschalk had a great first period, gets caught in between, and you can see there's 4 sweaters for the Florida Panthers back, all in front of Tim Thomas, and Chris Higgins able to slide it through.
Higgins has his 7th. And his 11th point. And that should calm the nerves a little bit, not just for the Canucks, but for this crowd at Rogers Arena. As Luongo stops a long one from Campbell. And he covers up to get the whistle. And on the stoppage, we can tell you about a winner on Safeway's Score and Win. For Safeway and Imperial Margarine from Burnaby, Angela Look. Congratulations, you've won a Lagostina 10-piece stainless steel cookware set.
Well, especially right after that one was tipped wide by Brian Campbell. When things are going well, that goes in. Things aren't going well, it just goes wide. And here's a good hard forecheck. Santorelli brings it out in front, and then Chris Higgins slides it in.
I mentioned earlier how much we've been talking about Kulikov in this game. He's been all around the puck, particularly on the power plays, and he's left to go to the forward aggressive. So for the moment, the Panthers down to 5 defensemen. Dan Hanhus, the second assist on the tying goal from Higgins. So it's Higgins from Santorelli and Hanhus. And there's a chance at the side, and Santorelli's involved again, the ex-Panther, having a strong period here against his former team. Canucks offside on the shoot-in, and the whistle blows.
And again, going to the net. And that's one of the things that Mike Santorelli got away from last year, and one of the things he's done so well this year is going to the net. There he is at the net. He's got an extra body, and he gets an unfortunate bounce. It bounces the other way. Had it gone towards his body, he'd had a chance to slide it in.
Sedin's out for the face-off outside the Florida blue line. Puck comes free to Goodbranson. Ahead to center. Barkov trying to move the puck to the neutral zone. Canucks chip it ahead to Alex Burrows. Drop pass through the legs to Henrik Sedin. Now to Daniel in front. Burrows couldn't get his stick on it. He goes after the puck again. Goodbranson takes it away and makes a pass to Alexander Barkov. Up the left wing, here's Mike Motto joining the rush. In over the bank of the line, throws one in front, and that winds up in the far corner. Upshaw check there. Out with the puck is Daniel Sedin. Into the middle, Tanev. He drops for Burrows. Across to Daniel. In front for him. Daniel again with a sharp angle shot, stopped by Thomas. And the Panthers come up with the puck, work it ahead, chipped out by Boyes. Here comes Kopetsky, tipping it past Ryan Stanton. 5 minutes into the second period, a 1-1 tie. And Cassian misses the puck at center. Campbell's able to feed it over to Tom Gilbert. Now Goodbranson is going to the dressing room, John. So the Panthers having some issues on defense here in the second period. Not sure if Kulikov has returned to the bench.
Goodbranson looks like a skate problem.
It looks like Kulikov has returned. But Goodbranson missing for the moment as the Panthers rush in, but they're offside with a pass onto the right wing.
Lots of deals between these two teams, as we all well know, and it goes way back to the Ed Jovanovski era. Bernie Luongo, and you go right up and down the list, and there's all sorts of rumors. Sean Mathias is one of the names kicked around that not playing very much. Big centerman. And
there's Dale Talon.
There's a look at the former Canuck, Dale Talon, former Toronto Marlboro.
Sestito hit on Gilbert as he played the puck into the Vancouver zone. Barch bumps Stanton. He was the one who hit Stanton in the first. Created that gash on the bridge of the nose. Puck out of play, and the face-off will come outside the blue line. As I say, it went off a Florida player. Shots 17 apiece. Canucks have had 5 of them here in the second period. And Stanton's team on even terms thanks to a goal from Chris Higgins.
The Florida Panthers changed their coaching staff. They brought in Peter Horachek, who was coaching the American League team, but also brought in the former first captain of the Florida Panthers, Brian Skrudland, and John Madden, trying to get some history, trying to get more involved. And Skrudland naturally will be a good coach. And there's a look at John Madden,
yes,
former Stanley Cup winner and former Florida Panther.
That John Madden.
That John Madden.
That would have been thinking outside the box if they brought in the other John Madden.
Oh, you and Murph in your NFL.
Garrison cuts one off behind the Vancouver goal. Round for Higgins. Kicks the puck to Bieksa. Ahead to center. Santorelli. Checked from behind by Boyes. Quickly to Barkov. Up the right wing. Upshaw. He dumps one around to the near side. Bieksa's after that. Puck deflects off Barkov. Right to Santorelli, who skates quickly through center. Mike Santorelli over the Florida line. Down the left wing. Turns. Looks back. Finds Higgins. Quick shot. Kicked out by Thomas. Higgins goes after the puck behind the net. Kessler picks it up. Ryan Kessler. Under pressure from Gilbert. Kessler fights off the check. Leaves the puck for Santorelli. He's tied up. Gilbert gets it ahead, and Upshaw, who had designs on a breakaway, missed the pass. Instead, it'll be an icing call against the Florida Panthers.
And with Peter Horachek, all those years working with the Nashville Predators and then coming to Florida, his defensive systems learned with Barry Trotz. Naturally, they will be very effective here in Florida. Kevin Dineen, who last year didn't have a success. The first year, they made the playoffs. Wayne Rollison carried the Panthers.
There's a centering pass for Burrows. Thomas read that well as Daniel Sedin tried to set him up. I was surprised that Horachek's the 12th coach already in Florida Panthers history. Canucks have had 17. John Tortorella is 17th. They've been in the league a heck of a lot longer.
Coaching and goaltending seem to go hand in hand with Jose Theodore, and they just can't get a goalie as Wayne Rollison was just too old. Now we've got Tim Thomas. How many years is he going to be there?
Daniel Sedin behind the net to Alex Burrows. Onto the right wing to Henrik Sedin. Canuck captain to the corner. Puts the puck in front again. Thomas aggressively knocks that one away. Puck cleared to the left point. Hanhughes there to hold it in. Puts one in front. That deflects towards the right point. Tanev elected to retreat, and here comes Kopetsky. Thomas Kopetsky, 3-on-2 Florida, drops Fleischmann in front with a wrist shot, and that went off Kopetsky, sticking wide. Kopetsky after the puck in the near corner. Shovels it back. Gilroy blast. Blockered away by Luongo. Winchester turning to get away from Henrik Sedin. Turning into potentially another long shift for the Sedin line, John, which was averaging over a minute per shift in the first period. Got caught out there at least once. Here's Gotch from behind the net, trying to get around Hanhughes. Burrows back to help out. Winchester gets the puck. Burrows comes up within the corner, slides it up the middle, and Daniel Sedin tries to get it out, but he was tied up. Puck stays in the Vancouver zone. Panthers will start to change as Hanhughes goes back for the puck. Canucks want to get it up ice. Long change here in the second. Hansen's onto the ice, so's Richardson. And he's able to tip it in, allowing Vancouver to complete the full line change. Hansen working to hold the puck in the Florida zone. Loses it. And it's played past Bieksa by Mathias. Stanton hustles after the puck. Being pursued by Mathias, Stanton makes a nice pass up the middle to Brad Richardson, who defers to Zach Kassian. Thomas out of his net, plays the puck to Kulikov. Bieksa holds that one in. Campbell will try the other side. That one knocked away by Richardson. Campbell follows up, and now he's able to carry the puck to center. Matthias turns, can't get it by Stanton, who passes to Kassian. Canucks break to the Florida line. Here's Richardson, and a wrist shot attempt goes off Campbell and over the glass in the corner to the right of Thomas. Nearing the halfway mark of the second, Higgins has tied the game, and the Canucks and Panthers are on even terms.
They take the family to a Canucks game with family night packs presented by Cineplex and QMFM, with tickets starting at $42 plus service fees. Each pack also includes 4 free Cineplex movie passes, 2 theater popcorn vouchers, and a team store discount. Visit Canucks.com/family nights to book yours today.
Family enjoying this one. Lots of chances at both ends for a 1-1 game.
Loose puck at the line. Garrison over to pick it up. Backhands it in front. Thomas couldn't squeeze it. Jeremy Welsh is after the puck. Garrison aggressively from the blue line. Couldn't hold it in. It's cleared down to Vancouver territory. Edler leaves there for Dale Weiss. Now to Edler. Able to get it ahead to Sestito. The Canucks can't get out yet. Garrison will try the near side. Weiss, who had circled back with the puck, he can't move it. Welsh with a nice shot block, and he slides one forward for Weiss to chase after. Kulikov. Around for good Branson. Sestito got him lined up. But missed on the check attempt. Puck out to center. Canucks will likely start to change as they try to get the puck into the Florida zone successfully, and now the change happens. Past the halfway mark of the second. And a 1-1 tie. Santorelli to Kessler. He gets to the Florida line, backhands the puck in. Thomas swings it around the boards, cut off by Higgins. Higgins stops to find some room. Kessler with a blast, missed the net, and that puck ricochets off the corner glass and all the way down. Hamhuis ahead for Santorelli. He deflects the puck through. Thomas out of his net will leave Gilroy. He was hit by Higgins, but able to get the puck ahead to Fleischmann. Into the middle, Fleischmann now takes a return pass, moves into the Vancouver zone with a low wrist shot that was stopped by Roberto Luongo. Nick Bukestad gets the puck. Back to Mike Motto, long shot. That deflected wide, and Hamhuis goes back for the loose puck. Quickly ahead to Higgins, who tips it out. Kessler after it, tied up by Fleischmann. And here comes Huberdeau with a quick shift at center, trying to go through the defense. Puck knocked away by Tanev. Santorelli ahead to Burrows. In on the right wing, waiting for help. Burrows trying to center. That was blocked by Motto. Burrows holds the puck in with a pass to Daniel Sedin. Daniel hooks one in front, blocked by Thomas. Daniel Sedin again. Into the corner for Burrows. Behind the net to Henrik. His pass deflected to the corner. Burrows goes after the puck again. Stanton's moved down from the right corner. Henrik Sedin is covering for him. Daniel from the corner. Tied up along the boards. Henrik comes in, digs the puck free. Trying to pass for Burrows. Now he gets it through, and Burrows diving on the forehand. Couldn't sweep it in past Thomas. Burrows complaining to the referee that he was tripped. Play goes on. Henrik Sedin back in. Canucks with numbers. Daniel takes the draw pass. Shoots. Just missed. Trying to go stick side on Thomas. Puck centered again and deflected to the corner. Canucks inches away from the go-ahead goal there. Daniel Sedin looking for career tally number 299. Panthers again fail to get the puck up. Gotch drops it back to Gilbert, who throws it to an open wing at center. Bieksa there sends it back into Florida territories. He's hit by Kopetsky. Under 8 minutes to go. Second period, Bieksa holds the puck in. Richardson shoots! And Gilbert deflects that one out of play for a whistle in the Florida zone. Canucks territorially taking over. They've outshot the Panthers here in the second, and they've tied the game, which has to please the coach. On Garrett's Fresh Take, it's brought to you by Subway. Escape the cold with the new Sriracha Steak Melt. Subway, eat fresh.
Sedin's again in the offensive zone with Alex Burrows. This is a fresh take because Henrik and Daniel worked this around so well. Henrik covered up for Stanton, then comes back into the play. That's a very good fresh take, and there's the chance by Alex Burrows. The poke check, and Daniel Sedin just slides it wide. He had 10 shots on goal last game. He's had 5 already in this game.
Here's Kulikov rushing the puck through center. And offside was Barkov on the near wing will check in with Murph.
Break in the action so we can tell you Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game between the Canucks and Panthers is Imperial Margarine.
Dip things in it, probably.
Yes, that's
pretzels.
it. Oh, it's easy. Those little breadstick things. Perfect. That play by Alex Burrows where he came out on Tim Thomas, one of the guys I used to play against all the time, Gilbert Perreault, used to always put his foot in front so that if you tried to protest, it would get kicked out of the way and then he'd slide it into the empty net.
Looked like Burrows at that same instant was slashed on the ankle by Campbell. Maybe that's what he was complaining about.
And speaking of Gilbert Perreault, Dale Talent's in the building, and Gilbert Perreault. See, it all goes together.
6 degrees.
We're telling this story.
There's
It all
6 degrees
goes
of
together.
something all
Yes.
the time with you.
Thank you.
Burrows and Dale Talent. Observers for this ship is Santorelli. Wins a draw, but they'll do it over again.
And now with the lottery picks, it's like it used to be with the spin the wheel and who's going to pick first, Buffalo or Vancouver.
Alex Burrows never went through that. Kessler wins the draw in place of Santorelli. There's a long shot by Hughes. Higgins there again with a nose for the net, but Thomas has the puck.
Well, that's the thing. When you've got two centermen who are really proficient on the faceoff, you can cheat like crazy, and then it doesn't matter if you get waved out. Ryan Kessler is in for Mike Santorelli after Santorelli got waved out, and Kessler wins it right straight back.
Santorelli with a clean win. Kessler tried to pass to Tanev. He has to move back now as Huberdeau tries to send Fleischmann in. And that was narrowly broken up. Now Goodbranson trying to hold the puck in. Canucks attempting to force it out. Kessler flips it ahead for Higgins. Moving in on Kulikov. Puck goes to the end boards. Kulikov there turns to get away from Higgins. Dumps the puck forward. Huberdeau able to play it ahead. And here comes Bukestad. In over the Vancouver line. Drop pass, a good one. Huberdeau, and reaching in was Ryan Kessler in the nick of time to deflect that one out of play.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
When you're coming back checking, you have to pick the right guy. Here's Ryan Kessler. Okay, pick the right guy. And there he is. He turns. He doesn't follow the man all the way across. Stays on his own side and able to tip that one up and over the glass.
Scramble draw. Puck comes free to Bieksa, who circles the net, throws a long one to center. That's off the stick of Daniel Sedin, and Gilbert goes back for the puck. Leaves for Campbell. He in turn lets it go through for Kopecky, who's pressured hard by Bieksa. He centers. Puck comes back towards the blue line. Stanton. Looked like he brought it back in offside, but play continues. And the puck is sent down into the Vancouver zone. Henrik Sedin works it free to Alex Burrows. Rink wide, Bieksa chips the puck to the forward of blue line. Gilbert takes control. Ahead for Winchester, who relays to Marcel Gotch. Gotch backhands one. Ooh, a little late to react on that one with the right arm, but he held it out. Canucks get the puck to center. Motto forces ahead. Here's Boys moving in. Poke check by Bieksa. Burrows turns to the puck, slides one ahead off the stick of Henrik Sedin, but Daniel's able to backhand the puck into the Florida zone. Five and a half minutes to go in the second. And a good job there by Bieksa. Let the puck go past him, get it to a teammate. Now he'll hustle to the bench. As the Panthers try to send one ahead quickly. Weiss threw a hard hit on Kulikov. Fans react to that as the Panthers work the puck into the Vancouver's own chance at the side. And Luongo sliding to his left. He's able to stop Scotty Upshaw. Sestito back for a loose puck. Gets it to the line, held in by Kulikov. Edler after the puck, and he ices it. Face-off will be in the Vancouver zone, with the Canucks' fourth line forced to stay out.
Well, Dale Weiss, good timing on this one. Shoulder to shoulder.
Want to remind everybody about BMO Raptors basketball on Sportsnet. Tomorrow at 4 on Sportsnet 1, it's the Raptors and Philadelphia. Here it's 1-1, the Canucks and the Panthers, and a timeout has been called, presumably by John Tortorella.
Well, your fourth line on the ice, and you can see John Tortorella. Okay, make sure. It is just a rest timeout. And you see Dale Weiss. You have all that adrenaline. You've been out for so long, and the Sierra still is working and has got you back into the lineup as quickly as possible. You know all about that.
I sure do. I think it aided the recovery time in a big way.
But you get all excited now, and all of a sudden you're going on adrenaline, and then you have a shift like that, you have a big hit, and naturally you're tired. The coach recognizing, okay, calm down, let's get back, get that face off, and get a line change.
Sestito able to get onto the puck right off the draw. Slides it down into the Florida zone. No icing, so mission accomplished, and the Canucks start to change their personnel. Huberdeau drops. Bukestad back to Jonathan Huberdeau. Moves it. Dumps one to the far corner. Bukestad is there. Hand is on him. Puck comes to Huberdeau behind the net. Backhand in front. Knocked to the side by Santorelli. And cleared ahead by Chris Tanev, but not out. Another chance for Tanev. This time he finds Santorelli, who turns at his own blue line before flipping the puck ahead out of the reach of Ryan Kesler. Panthers trying to move back in. Handhughes broke that up, but Bukestad will backhand the puck in behind the Canuck net. Handhughes picks it up ahead for Kesler. Flips one in. Thomas, can of corn. Near side with the puck, and out comes Marcel Gotch. 4 minutes to go. Second period, a 1-1 tie. Canucks dump the puck around. Gilroy's onto the ice and down from the blue line to hold it in. Puck underneath Gotch. Bieksa trying to jar it free. Winchester for Florida had to serve a suspension earlier in the year for a hit on Chris Kelly of the Bruins. Here's Bieksa jumping up in the rush with a wrist shot wide of the goal. Puck comes to Winchester. He's hit by Higgins as he clears the puck out, and it's an icing call against Florida.
Every team goes through these little runs during the season. It's a long season, 82 games. You don't have any luck, and puck just doesn't seem to be bouncing for you. And you look at, usually it's only one or two guys, but the Canucks in the throes of a whole bunch of them having problems finding the net. Pittsburgh lost 4 of 5 going into last night's game and had scored 6 goals in the 4 losses. Crosby only 2 points. Malkin didn't have a goal. I mean, every team goes through those kind of stretches. Anaheim's lost 4 in a row. They've only scored 6 goals.
Another icing call here. The trick is to nip them in the bud, I suppose. We talked about just how a bad week can alter things in the standings. And John Tortorella has liked pretty much everything about the process the last number of games, save for the finish. Henrik Sedin against Marcel Gotch. They tie each other up. Gotch taps the puck back. Gilroy hammers it around. It's off Edler and down to the Vancouver blue line. Garrison ahead. Henrik Sedin moves it down the right wing. Henrik cuts wide. Round behind the net. Henrik out the far side. Still with the puck. Now dumps it behind for Burrows. Alex Burrows tried to get it to Daniel Sedin as he was taken down. Panthers move out with the puck. Boys in on Garrison, who stands him up. That allows Edler to pick up the puck and start out to center. Alex Edler tried to find Burrows up the middle, and that'll be an icing call. Canucks were thinking about making a change there, but now the Sedins and Burrows have to stay on the ice.
Well, the Panthers made a wholesale change here, and Jason Garrison has the puck. And a lot of times, if you're the defenseman, you realize the change is there. Okay, throw it at their bench. Okay, everybody's going off. Throw it at their bench right now. And they'd have 7 guys, 8 guys on the ice. And I know it's one of those in-game things that you're saying, well, I want to make a good play and create some offense. They are changing, but you could draw the penalties.
Canucks can't get the puck out. So the Sedin line will have to stay on and defend for a bit here. Edler took a swipe at that puck, missed it. Now Garrison a chance to make a play. Up the boards and able to get it down into the Florida zone. Canucks start to change. Burrows stays on for the moment. Now he heads to the bench as Huberdeau brings the puck in on the right wing. Tried to make a play in front. That didn't work, but the Panthers hold the puck in. Richardson over to check Huberdeau. Puck played to the near side for Jannik Hansen. Up ahead for Kassian. That deflects to Kulikov. 2 minutes to go in the second. Not a lot been happening lately. Bjugstad will try to change that for the Panthers. In with a deep to the forehand, and Luongo got his left arm on that one. Here comes Zach Kassian the other way. Into the Florida zone. There's going to be a hooking penalty to Gilroy, but the Canucks still have the puck. Kassian making moves, drops back. Tanev near side. Hamhuis stopped by Thomas. Play continues as the Canucks maintain possession of the puck. Luongo's at the bench for the extra skater, and now the puck picked up by Mike Motto. Whistle blows. Gilroy will head to the box, and when we return, the Canucks look to take the lead on the power play.
Good job by Zach Kassian drawing this penalty. Matt Gilroy gets caught flat-footed. Kassian keeps the feet going. Gilroy reached in, got him on the hands, and ends up with a hooking penalty.
Second power play for the Canucks. They're 0 for 1. Panthers have gone 1 for 2 with the man advantage. So the Canucks able to match that, take the lead here possibly. With a minute and a half to go in the period. And they'll have to add a second to the clock. After that attempted drop of the puck. Maybe they won't add a second. They'll just delay a second. Canucks win it again. And now they set up. Here's Henrik Sedin. Down low, Daniel in front, and a nice play there by Motto to block the pass, allowing the Panthers to clear the puck down the ice. Kevin Bieksa leaves at center for Henrik Sedin. Henrik sifts his way in. Dumps one around for Daniel. Cut off by Goodbranson. He brings the puck around and down the ice. Final minute, second period. Canucks looking for a jolt of adrenaline. If they can get the late goal to take the lead. Kessler tried to step around Campbell, who was having none of that. Good job by Bieksa to hold the puck in. Gilbert, though, with a chance to clear, and he gets it by Edler and down the ice. Luongo can't play this one. Now he can, but taken away by Mathias. Henrik Sedin came back to help. Pass to Daniel. Into the middle. Here's Hamhuis kicking the puck up to his stick. Burrows on the left wing. Delays. A little too long. Able to tie up the man. Burrows lost his glove there. His hand was on the ice dangerously. Keeps playing without the glove, and the Panthers pick up the puck. Winchester sends it all the way down. So after the early opportunity to set up off the draw, the Canucks haven't had anything, and they're under 10 seconds to go now, and they're offside.
This power play has really struggled just gaining the zone. A couple of bad shoot-ins.
Had the early opportunity in the centering pass as they moved it around quickly from Daniel.
That was a low
blocked.
percentage pass play. Alex Edler was the guy coming in from the point. That diagonal cross through the goal crease almost.
Referee checking to see if the time on the clock is correct. Right now it reads 5.3 seconds left in the second period. And now they add a second. Still a long shot.
Yes.
Burrows lines up way wide left. They were hoping to spring in, but the Panthers come up with the puck, dump it down, and it's anybody's game heading to the third. Tie game thanks to Chris Higgins, who potted his 7th in the second period. And Roberto Luongo, not overly busy, faced 8 shots. Both goalies have faced 22, and Luongo and Tim Thomas have both stopped 21. Don Taylor has an update coming up in our second intermission, and it'll be Ian McIntyre and Lawrence Gilman joining Dan Murphy. 40 minutes done, 1-1, Canucks and the Panthers.
Welcome back to Vancouver. Close to the third period puck drop. Score between the Canucks and Panthers 1-1. The scoring summary is brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago. Brad Boyes opened the scoring. 3:43 into the first, his 8th on the power play. Given the visitors the 1-0 lead, Chris Higgins tied it up. 3:26 into the second. That's where we stand right now.
All even. Could benefit the Panthers. They've scored a lot in the third period this year, John.
Well, they're usually behind, and that's the problem. They've tied going into the third. They're under 500. Trailing, they've won once going into the third, even though they've scored a bunch.
Now, interesting, Canucks are on the power play to start the third period for another 20 seconds, and we have one Sedin out there. Henrik with Hansen and Higgins, so some major adjustments here, albeit an abbreviated power play attempt to start the period. There's Bieksa with a blast, couldn't get it through, and the puck is cleared down by Campbell.
Go with the hot hand, and that's Chris Higgins.
I really don't think that's how the market's going to read it. Kulikov back, and he clears the puck down, but the Panthers had returned to full strength, so this will be icing as Edler gets to the hash marks ahead of Barkov.
Well, and now you can start to figure out some different lines.
You're going to have Santorelli with Kessler and Daniel Sedin. So John Tortorella mixing things up here in period 3, trying to spark his team to victory. It's been a winless in 4 scenario for the Canucks, 0-3-1. Santorelli, who is 6 for 9 on faceoffs through 2 periods, loses that one. Upshaw plays the puck in behind the Vancouver goal. Luongo up the near side, couldn't get it by Barkov. I don't want to overstate the power play because it was only 20 some odd seconds, but that's the one area we haven't seen the Sedins mess with.
Yes.
Thomas out of his net. Weakly to the corner, held in by Daniel Sedin. Here's Santorelli behind the goal. Blue line feed, Tanev, left point, Handhuse, wrist one in front. That hit Kessler. Might have caught him in a nasty spot as he's hunched over heading to the bench. Daniel Sedin trying to fight off the check of Kulikov. Kessler being checked to the bench by Mike Bernstein as Tanev moves down to the right point. Dumps the puck around. Handhuse will try to get it to the left point, but it's past him and past Cassian, who is covered. He collects the puck in the neutral zone. Up ahead to Handhuse. Drives along one, steered wide by Thomas. Here's Richardson off the bench. In front, Cassian trying to tip it home. Now he centers to the crease. Nobody there. Puck comes back to the blue line, held in by Richardson. Alex Burrows centers Cassian, stopped by Thomas. Off the right shoulder, I think, as Zach Cassian was set up by Alex Burrows. Cassian with another shot. Burrows gets the rebound in the corner. Round for Richardson. Looking in front, feeds back, left point. Edler with a drive, missed the net. Puck comes to Richardson on the right wing. Brad Richardson faked the pass to the blue line. Now he feeds in deep to Burrows. Burrows from behind the goal, centers Richardson! I think he hit the outside of the post. And the Panthers ice the puck after some good pressure from this new line of Richardson, Burrows, and Cassian.
Well, Brad Richardson just couldn't get that shot away quickly enough. Tim Thomas reads his play so well. A pass across, Tim Thomas is on his way, and it's off his right shoulder, sprawling. He's going to poke check, try to get the pass, and he just gets it off his elbow. And then Brad Richardson. Nice setup by Alex Burrows, and you can see he has his stick hooked and then pulls it wide to hit the defenseman at the side of the net.
Panthers take their time out after the extended shift in their zone and then the icing call. And there's Ryan Kessler, who was hit by a teammate's shot in front of the goal. Had to leave to recover.
You can see the Canucks, if they can just score. Just get 2. Just get 2 goals and they'd be all right. Get 3 and you're in Gravy City.
2 might be all that's needed in this one. It's 1-1, 2.5 minutes into the third. As Henrik Sedin comes out with Higgins and Hansen again. And the Canucks control off the draw. Bieksa into the corner for Higgins. Taps the puck to the near side. Fleischman's after it. Stanley moves down from the blue line to force the puck from him, but Fleischman gets it again. Throws it up the middle. Hansen shoots and scores! Fleischman served it up the middle, and Jannik Hansen in one motion ripped it home to make it 2-1 Vancouver.
Well, this is what John Tortorella preaches, aggressive hockey. And the defenseman pinching in no matter what, and then turns it over, and Jannik Hansen just rips it by Tim Thomas. Jannik Hansen with a quick wrist shot. That's all created when Fleischman tries to go up the middle, and Henrik Sedin, I don't know whether Henrik will get an assist on that. John, do you think he hit the puck or just the stick? Ryan Stanton pinched in, and that created the turnover. Fleischman going up the middle. And then you can see Tim Thomas's reaction.
Likely unassisted. Hansen at 2:45 in the third period has his third. And the Canucks have their first lead in that all-important second goal. Fourth line shift for Vancouver now. And Stanton goes back for the puck. Dangerous pass up the middle of his own. And Canucks able to keep the puck to the outside. Now it's worked free to Sestito, who sends one just out of the reach of Campbell, and that's going to be an icing call against Vancouver. It is unassisted, Jannik Hansen, the go-ahead goal, but it does produce a winner on Score and Win. From Safeway and Imperial Margarine, we congratulate Kathy Duvall of Kamloops. Kathy, you won a $250 gift card from Visions Electronics.
Twins will like that one. Jannik Hansen's twins, that is. And Jannik Hansen reads the play, go to the middle, stick on the ice, and just rip it. He gets it back in his backswing, and will pull it by Tim Thomas.
After the icing, Canucks working to come up with a puck, get it out. Held in by Gotch, here's Kopetsky. Throws one towards the front, that bounced off Luongo, it's loose at the side, and just trickled wide. And Canucks, Stanton content to ice it again. Didn't like that pressure and the scrambly nature of the play around the Vancouver goal, and they'll face off again in Canuck territory.
See Roberto Luongo shaking his head. He's had one bounce off his back and go in, a freaky goal, and this one's up in the air, and there's no idea where it is. Kevin Bieksa thinking about pushing the net off. There's a little shove there. The referee comes over to put it back on.
Little repair to the ice in the Vancouver goal
Good
crease.
strategy by Roberto Luongo. Here you got a tired line. You're the goaltender, veteran goaltender. Oh yeah, there's a divot here. You better work on the ice.
You ever make divots in your goal
man.
crease?
Man, that's one of those where you say, okay, I can't move across, and you have to repair that, and you give your teammates a chance to rest. That's a good, smart play by Roberto Luongo.
Well, you couldn't move across anyway because you had hot dogs in your pads.
Short little legs, the biggest part.
Set to go, Welsh against Bukestad on the draw. Nearing the 4-minute mark, third period. Face-off win for Jeremy Welsh. And Bieksa comes up with the puck. Throws it forward. Sestito will make sure he gets it in deep. Now he'll chase after it as his line mates change in the neutral zone behind him. Bukestad out with the puck. Gets to the Vancouver line and flips it in. Tanev trying to send it around. Panthers hold the puck in the zone. Bukestad goes down under the check of Hamhuis. Puck comes free to Santorelli, chips it ahead. And held in by Gilbert. Good play at the line. Now forced out by Hamhuis. And Bukestad takes possession at his own blue line with a pass over to Brian Campbell. Daniel Sedin trying to break that one up. Now the puck thrown forward to Kessler, who's in on the left wing. Ryan Kessler on the backhand. Centers it off. Campbell loose in the crease. They can't jam it home. And the Panthers will try to break out. 3 of them through center. 4 of them now as Campbell moves in on the left wing. Brian Campbell in front. Gilbert checked from behind by Hamhuis and couldn't get the shot away. Puck chopped over the glass. And play stops. Linesman conferring with the referee says it deflected off the glass and it'll just be a stoppage.
Close chance at one end, create an odd man rush the other way. Ryan Kessler throws in the net. Brian Campbell tips it. Good save by Tim Thomas, scrambling back. And that creates the odd man rush going the other way. Brian Campbell leading that rush. And Tom Gilbert, the other defenseman, is caught by Dan Hamhuis.
Battle for the puck off the draw, comes loose to the near side. Burrows able to dig it free momentarily. He was checked by Upshaw. Puck held in by Goodbranson, and then Upshaw was hit by Edler. Richardson tries the other side. Kassian takes the man, but the Panthers hold the puck and came outside the line. They'll have to tag up as Goodbranson dumps it back in. Here comes Alex Edler. Thomas out to play the puck. Swings it around for Gosh. And now it deflects right to Jesse Winchester, who moves in with speed on the left wing. Winchester slows, ripped one wide to the goal. Puck comes to the right point. Gilroy there with a blast, and that was blocked by Alex Edler. Puck comes to the other Alex, and Burrows flips it into the Florida zone before heading to the bench. Nearly 6 minutes into the third. 2-1 Vancouver, and Gilroy hammers the puck back into the Vancouver end. The exit deflects it out to center. Hansen trying to strip it from Campbell, and he does. Yannick Hansen moving in. He shoots, and a blocker save for Thomas. Puck gloved down by Winchester, and he's able to play it ahead. Almost looked like he closed his hand on the puck, but the Panthers able to send it into the Vancouver zone. There's a long pass off of Florida stick. And back forward is Eric Branson. Gives it away to Henrik Sedin. Into the corner, Chris Higgins. Pass for Henrik, gets by him. And Thomas Fleischmann plays the puck to an open wing. Off the high stick of Huberdeau, but Bieksa's next to touch, so play goes on. Yannick Hansen comes back to give him a passing option. Now throws a long one ahead for Higgins to chase after. No icing. Higgins with a shot, and his follow-through hit Goodbranson. Goodbranson tipped the puck out of play, and then the follow-through of the slap shot caught him in the face, but he's back up and appears to be all right. Accidental play. Goodbranson in the wrong place. He'll try to recover.
To Vancouver, don't forget to shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts, and you could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca.
Yannick Hansen, who has had a good game in this game, besides the goal. Good play on Brian Campbell. Get position, get the shot. Now, they have the rule for concealing the puck. Now, okay, that's not concealing the puck. That's grabbing it, carrying it 5 feet, and there's no call for that. They put a new rule in for that conceal, and they call that all the time, but they let the guy do that. Makes no sense.
You should write a letter.
I'll phone the war room.
Puck dumped into the Vancouver zone. Panthers, Upshaw holds it in. Pass for Boyes, who has the Panthers goal on a power play. Canucks break it up. Here comes Santorelli, deferring to Chris Tanev. Back to Santorelli. 4 Canucks over the Florida line. Santorelli in front, knocked away, and back come the Panthers. Upshaw, poke check by Hughes, and it's the Canucks' turn to rush through center. Kessler, bumped by Upshaw. As he played the puck to the near side, Panthers work it to Campbell. Pass to the other side, and Upshaw clears the puck out. Long pass ahead, Kessler moves back in. Garrison going to the net, quick shot stopped by Tim Thomas. Jason Garrison trying to score against his former team. Mike Motto from the boards. Matthias tip pass to Kopetsky. Now here's Gilroy down the right side with a shot. Luongo able to snare it with the glove. He hangs on, and we'll check in with Murph.
John, the Toronto Maple Leafs are defying the conventions of hockey analytics. Not a fluke, but the game they're playing has no margin for error. Want to read about it? Subscribe today. www.sportsnet.ca/magazine.
Don Taylor will have all the info on another Leaf win tonight at home. They're in a 5-game homestand, won the first 2.
Face-off win for Richardson. The Canucks had trouble picking up the puck, and the Panthers set it up at the blue line for a shot that didn't get through. Stanton checked again. Bieksa able to bank the puck off the far boards and out. A little over 8 minutes gone, third period. 2-1 Vancouver. As the Canucks in search of their 7th win already this year when surrendering the game's first goal. Burrows into the forecheck. Referee went down. Ian Walsh, he's back to his feet. Now it's Bukestad who fell down. He's back up, takes a pass to the Vancouver blue line, relays to Kopetsky. Now down to Bukestad in the corner. Nick Bukestad in front. They score. Matthias with a one-timer. Bukestad teed it up for Sean Matthias, who ties the game at 2.
One thing John Tortorella always talks about is numbers, and the Canucks have numbers back. But nobody takes Matthias, and he's allowed to one time, and they've got numbers. Everybody's back, and Matthias is wide open.
What a shot, glove side, as he wasted no time letting that one go.
Boy, he got all of it. There's no doubt about that. Zach Cassian was back. Alex Burrows back. Nobody took Matthias.
We can play the 6 degrees game again. Sean Matthias acquired in a trade with Detroit for Todd Bertuzzi. Sent to Florida in exchange for Roberto Luongo. No one cares about that right now because the Panthers have tied the game, but here's Garrison trying to change that. Puts the puck in front, it's loose, and Daniel Sedin unable to jam it by Tim Thomas. Get a whistle, and face-off will come down the ice when action resumes, but first we'll tell you about Thursday Night Football on Sportsnet. This week at 5, it's New Orleans and Atlanta as the week kicks off on Thursday on Sportsnet.
You're going to have a bounce-back week this week?
I need to. I don't like it when Murph is trash-talking me when he's been so buried all season long.
Doesn't he have a 3-year reign?
Okay, let's talk about the hockey game. Forget about my inefficiencies. Here's Hanhus with a shot attempt. Couldn't get it through. Rebound, Hansen. Pass back. Tanev couldn't take it cleanly. Touchy. Here's Jannik Hansen. Checked by Bukestad. Made that nice setup with a Matthias goal. Thomas Kopecky had the second assist on the equalizer for Florida. Thought maybe it might only take 2 to win this game. It will take at least 1 more. Here's Gilroy. Dumping the puck around. Campbell can't catch up. Tanev trying to hold it in, but he was checked by Boys, and the puck is out to center. Tanev gets it to Dan Hanhus. He's in on the left wing. Hanhus cuts wide. Hanhus still with the puck, trying to slide it in front. That was tipped behind the goal. Hanhus stays after the puck. Burrows there as well. Boys is checked by Hansen, who was hooked, and Boys took the puck back. Feeds it ahead to Upshaw. Scott Upshaw tips the puck into Vancouver territory. Barkov moves in on Garrison, who fell down awkwardly. Panthers get it back to Goodbranson. Fakes the shot. Pass to Barkov. Alexander Barkov tried to go across. Pass was intended for Kulikov, but Boys stepped in front of him. He's trying to make a play. Puck loose on the near side. Burrows after it for Vancouver. We're past the halfway mark of the third. A 2-2 tie. Puck played to an open side. Garrison able to skate onto it. Takes his time before sliding one to Henrik Sedin. And he tried to play one in deep. Puck came back to him. This time he's able to send it in behind the Florida goal. Kulikov leaves for Goodbranson. Slides the puck ahead to Kopecky. Up to center, here comes Matthias. In over the Vancouver line. Gotch gets the puck. Quick shot, big rebound off the Luongo. The X is there to take it away. Richardson can't get the puck out. Held in by Kopecky. That one took a hard ricochet off the end boards that hit the back of the net. The X are trying to move the puck out, can't do it, but the Panthers wind up putting it over the glass for a whistle. With 9:02 to go in the third, and it's back to anybody's game. Deuces are wild at Rogers Arena.
For golf tournament, one of the big dates on the Canucks calendar earlier today, presenting a check for $173,000 to the Canucks for Kids Fund and other supported charities. Big deal, John. And they had a sunny day this year.
Yes, Ryan Kessler's team emerging victorious, if memory serves.
Yes, alumni there, Kurt McLean, Ernie Doherty, long-time Old Western League Vancouver Canuck, Ernie.
Were you a celebrity this year?
I think I was a alumni broadcaster, not a very good player.
2-2 game, Canucks and the Panthers. And the puck over the head of Gilbert, who now has to retreat quickly with Daniel Sedin in pursuit. Gilbert couldn't get it by Ryan Kessler. Daniel Sedin takes the pass. Hooks one towards the blue line, hustling over his Hanhus. Back in deep. Puck comes right in front, and Kessler couldn't jam it home from the crease. Daniel Sedin to Ryan Kesler. Santorelli, the other member of this forward line. Kesler shielding the puck, gets it back off the stick of Tanev and out to center. Tanev banks one up to Daniel Sedin. He delays before dumping one around. Santorelli goes after the puck. Takes it away from Barkov. Santorelli checked. Upshaw gets the puck. Leaves for Barkov, who skates through center. Makes a pass to Thomas Fleischmann. Wrist shot blocked by Bieksa. Panthers hold the puck in. Upshaw. Bieksa knocked Barkov down. Again, the puck stays in the zone. Glove down. Knocked down again was Barkov. Bieksa working to get the puck out, and Daniel Sedin finally does. Shot back in by Florida. Knocked down by Hanhus, who clears the zone. Both teams want to change, and both will now as Upshaw rips the puck back in. Bieksa sends it down the ice. Good Branson. Being pursued by Henrik Sedin. Plays the puck around to Kulikov. 7.5 minutes left in the third. A 2-2 tie. Luongo has to play that puck to the side to Jason Garrison, who taps it around for Edler. Ahead for Higgins, who's pressured immediately. Turns to get the puck forward. Can't move it out. Here's Gotch. Passing to the side. Drag move, and Matthias denied by Luongo as he looked for his second in quick succession here, but couldn't give Florida the lead. Panthers start from their own zone again. Here's Kopecky gloving one down and moving in. Matthias takes the pass on the left wing. Drop pass comes back to the blue line and out. Played back in offside by Campbell, who will argue his case but lose the argument to linesman Matt McPherson.
Dan Hanhus does a nice job keeping the puck in at the point and then banking one off the backboards, and Ryan Kesler just can't get the stick down with Brian Campbell bothering him in front. And at the other end, Sean Matthias tries a little toe drag move, and Roberto Luongo stays with him, gets enough of it with his right shoulder to make the save.
Richardson with a face-off win. And Hanhus under pressure. Puck stays in the zone. Fleischmann checked. Here's Gilbert with a long shot at center. Blocked by Burrows, who skates the other way. Burrows trying to make a play. Now Richardson helps him out and moves in. Richardson drops Cassian to the back end. Cassian puts one in front and grabbed easily by Thomas as that puck fluttered up into the air. And he gets the whistle. We'll tell you about some more football on Sportsnet 360. Thursday, it's NCAA gridiron action. We've got the Scarlet Knights against the Knights. Rutgers against the University of Central Florida. 4:30 Sportsnet 360 on Thursday.
Brad Richardson line again, another good chance in the offensive zone. They had a little trouble with the coverage in the defensive zone on the Matthias goal.
Panthers come up with a puck off that face-off, and here comes good Branson skating to center. In over the Vancouver line. Pass picked off. Richardson gets the puck out. Burrows picks it up and backhands it in towards Tim Thomas. Richardson with the aggressive forecheck. Kulikov knocked down by Burrows, who gets the puck in the corner. Alex Burrows gets it in deep. Gotch intercepts. Plays it ahead, held in by Bieksa, but now Kopecky with a chance to clear. Couldn't do it. Puck comes free to Goodbranson. Off a stick of Burrows, and Panthers a little careless of the puck in their own zone. That one thrown up the middle, but tipped out to center by Winchester. Here comes Kopecky. In over the Vancouver line on the right wing, throws one across. That was behind Gilroy. The defenseman is in deep as Santorelli picks up the loose puck and passes to Ryan Stanton. Stanton ahead to Daniel Sedin. Upshaw breaks that up, and here comes Boysen on the right wing. Centers the puck, Matthias again. Dangerous here in the third. Sean Matthias, left point pass, shot by Motto, blocked in front, loose puck cleared to the line, and holding it in is Gilroy. Round for Matthias along the end boards. Boyes takes the pass, looks in front, and Upshaw appeared to be open, but Kesler intercepted the pass. He sends one over for Santorelli, who's checked at the Florida blue line. Kesler follows up, gets the puck in deep. He'll chase in after it as the Canucks change in the neutral zone. Motto from behind his net. Pass to Gilbert. Up ahead, Fleischmann. Tips it past Edler. Tanev picks up the loose puck. Up for Higgins. Chris Higgins checked by Gilbert. Fleischman trying to move the puck through the neutral zone. Huberdeau there as well. With under 5 minutes to go in the third and the game tied at 2. Higgins forces the puck over the Florida line. Kicked back out by the Panthers. Now Edler sends it ahead, and here's Hansen. Pass to Higgins. Finally they get it in deep. And Hansen moves in on Tom Gilbert, who fights off the check. Bobbles the puck. Hansen moves in to collect it. Comes to Higgins. Pokes it back to Tanev. Left point. Here's Edler in front, and that's off a skate of Gilbert. Henrik Sedin gets the puck on the left wing. Intercepting is Bukestad, and the Panthers get it ahead to Fleischman, who tips the puck out. Alex Edler turning back at his own blue line. Canucks finishing their change. 4 minutes left, third period, 2-2 tie. Richardson takes the lead pass from Bieksa. Deflects the puck in. Burrows hustles in after it. Puck knocked away from him. Picked up by Winchester. Jesse Winchester in over the back of the line with a wrist shot. Luongo takes that one and smothers it with 3:51 to go in the third. Overtime looming as a potential in a 2-2 hockey game. Nobody beats the Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
What a night for Brad Boyes. Got to talk to Murph and then got the first goal. Chris Higgins and Yannick Hansen. Yannick Hansen, what a wrist shot that was. And you can see the top line, although the top line has been switched around, there's a lot of different combinations here in the third period.
2-2, just under 4 minutes to go. And Daniel Sedin gets the puck off the face-off, flips it forward, chases after the puck in the Florida zone. Panthers work it free to Winchester. Out to center to Gotch. Stanton takes control at his own blue line, across to Kevin Bieksa. Kessler couldn't move in. Santorelli was in ahead of the play, but now the Canucks tag up and try to move in on the forecheck. Kulikov has had a strong game. Gets the puck to Goodbranson, who was almost stripped of it, but he's able to pick it up again and send one out to center. Picked off by Stanton. Quickly ahead to Santorelli. He's got Kessler in front. Santorelli stops inside the line. Leaves for Daniel Sedin. Daniel spin move and a backhander towards the goal. Knocked away by the Panthers. And Barkov gets the puck ahead as Kessler and Tim Thomas had words behind the play. Puck ricochets towards Roberto Luongo, and he gets the whistle. Here again is Murph.
Hey Canucks fans, don't miss your chance to own a piece of Vancouver sports history. The Rocket Goes to the Rafters, a limited lithograph of 510 pieces, each hand-signed by Pavel Bure himself. Purchase this lithograph at www.thefanzoo.com.
Ryan Kessler is very emphatic about where he's standing here. He's about 2 feet outside the blue paint, and then Tim Thomas makes contact, and you can see they have words.
Icing call upcoming as Garrison sent that one hard down into the Florida zone. Another face-off in the Vancouver zone. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third.
See Brad Richardson talking to Jason Garrison, and there's Tim Thomas and Ryan Kessler. And what a battle it was during the playoffs. American-born players.
Fleischman gets the puck off the draw, stapled to the boards by Edler. Garrison plays it to the far side. Henrik Sedin there for the puck. Pass blocked. Garrison follows up, gets it to Higgins. Touch pass at center to Richardson. Richardson tips the puck in, moves in towards Gilbert. Here comes out on the near side, banks the puck ahead, gets past Edler and out to center. Chopped it forward by Garrison, but picked up by Fleischman, and here come the Panthers. Fleischman up the middle with a wrist shot that missed the net. Rebound to Bukestad. Luongo had to make a glove save on that sharp angle bit. Bukestad contorting himself there to get the shot away on the forehand, and Luongo with the left arm able to hold it out. Richardson deflects the puck back into the Florida end. Gilroy off the glass and out. 2 minutes to go. Burrows deflects the puck in, and Gilroy goes back once more. Matt Gilroy ahead for Gotch. Richardson takes that puck and dumps it back into the Florida zone. Burrows throws a hit on Motto, trying to free up the puck for Vancouver. Kassian was there, but the Panthers get it around to Gilroy again. Long pass ahead for Kopecky, broken up by Hamhuis, who then took a shot in the back from Kopecky. Puck hit center on the stick of Gotch, who wrists it into the Vancouver zone. Luongo to his net. Put to the side to Hamhuis and ahead to Mike Santorelli. Santorelli up the left wing. Kassian moves in. Panthers backing up, so he'll move in and try a slap shot that was blocked. Santorelli gets the puck behind the net. Mike Santorelli finds room in the corner. Back to Edler. Went off the heel of his stick, and back comes Jesse Winchester. Winchester to the Vancouver blue line. Down the left wing. Looking in front, tried a wrist shot, and Bieksa went down to block that one and steer the puck over the glass. Minute 4 to go. Still tied at 2, and let's hear from Don Taylor. Find out what's coming up after the game.
Thanks so much, guys. A reminder that Gary Volk and I will have a full post-game show after the Panthers and Canucks, followed by a full hour of Sportsnet Connected. Back to Rogers Arena.
All that ahead here on Sportsnet, but first the pesky matter of the final 64 seconds of this hockey game.
And there was another outnumbered attack for the Panthers. It ended up being a 4-on-3.
Panthers come up with the puck off the draw. Shot attempt by Kopetsky didn't get through. Final minute, third period. 2-2 tie. Santorelli trying to get the puck up the boards. Kopetsky digs it free, puts it towards the front of the goal. Edler clears, held in. Campbell slap shot. Luongo on what might have been a knuckling puck, able to make the stop and cover.
Canucks hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Subway. Escape the cold with our new Sriracha steak melt. Subway. Eat fresh.
It was a knuckler, John. As you said, Alex Edler just threw it to an open wing, hoping the winger'd be there. Ryan Campbell, the only person close.
Panthers control again. Looking for the late go-ahead goal. Gilbert on the right side. Puts one in front. That went through the crease. Deflects back to the left point to Campbell. Over to Kopetsky. Fires to the corner. Puck chopped towards the front. It winds up coming to the near side. Gilbert holds it in. Panthers pressuring here. Gotch to the blue line. Campbell to the right point. Gilbert over to Campbell. Down the left side. Here's Gotch again. Try a fake pass and got the shot away, which Luongo stopped and covered. But a sneaky play there by Gotch, who tried to look off the goaltender before firing one on net.
Pressure by the Florida Panthers. They had their big line out, and that's Matthias, is gigantic, 6'4", 220. He's there, and Roberto able to track that down after made the save off his chest.
.3 seconds to go, and Kessler will try to win this draw against Fleischmann. Panthers, 10 shots here in the third. Canucks have only had 4. Teams have traded goals. Hansen gave Vancouver the lead. Matthias tied it. Another face-off win for Florida. Here's Bukestad. That one deflects right back. Good Branson with a slap shot. Luongo with the glove on a puck that looked like it might have been tipped by Winchester, who's now into a big shoving match with Alex Burrows in front of the goal. Boy, the Panthers really creating some late opportunities here, trying to end it in regulation.
Jesse Winchester, the former Ottawa Senator, trying to get position in front of the net. Alex Edler is behind. He doesn't have position on Winchester, but Winchester can't get the stick on it. Roberto Luongo again. Good quick left hand. Kevin Woodley talking to Murph about how Roberto is able to track those pucks from the blue paint, able to do that there.
9.5 seconds to go. And the Canucks would do themselves a favor if they could win a face-off. And McPherson's going to kick them both out, Bukestad and Richardson. In a fencing match on the face-off dot, Kessler. And again, the Panthers control. Fleischmann. 5 seconds left. In deep for Bukestad. Centers. Bieksa knocks it away, and this game will go to overtime. After the Panthers created a series of late opportunities, the two teams each pocket a point and get ready for sudden death.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks with a go-ahead goal by Jannik Hansen couldn't hang on to it. Just a defensive lapse in their own zone. Everybody back, but Sean Matthias able to rifle one by Roberto Luongo.
It's the 8th time these teams have gone to overtime head-to-head. And, John, did you know that only once has a game been decided in sudden death in this head-to-head series?
Long pass intended for Bure. Winging a prayer, and it's cut off, and back come the Canucks in front of the net. Jovanovski scores! And Jovanovski, back in Florida, celebrates Vancouver's first win of the season.
Now that's an exciting way to make your return for the first time to play your old team.
Yes. Our friend Jim Houston with the call on that overtime goal. Ed was really excited about that goal. It was refreshing to see the kid in Ed Jovanovski come back out with that overtime winner.
Canucks' most recent overtime effort produced their first overtime loss of the season, as Dan Boyle of the Sharks was able to hand the Canucks defeat on a power play. And Vancouver now 4-1 in sudden death this season. Mike Santorelli with 2 of the goals, Brad Richardson and Ryan Kessler the others. Florida is 0-1 in games decided in overtime this season. Mark Arcabello of the Oilers. And there's Brad Richardson, who had his goal on Long Island. He'll watch as overtime begins and the Sedins reunited for this opening overtime shift. They had an extended shift in the San Jose game, which led to the Henrik Sedin penalty on the back check, which led to the Boyle overtime goal. We bring that up because there have been a few extended shifts in this hockey game as well, and a near turnover by Henrik Sedin, who then was upended, able to get the puck to Edler, who sends it into the Florida zone. Campbell, long one ahead, and Upshaw behind the defense, but couldn't corral the puck as he tried to get behind Bieksa and Edler. They double team Upshaw, who had Bukestad in front, had he been able to pick up the puck, but he couldn't do it. Canucks send it out to center. Daniel heads to the bench as Henrik pressures the puck, but now he'll peel off on a change as well. And over the boards for Vancouver are Ryan Kessler and Chris Higgins. And Hughes and Tanev, the defenseman. Tom Gilbert has the puck. He's waiting for the change to be completed as Goodranson comes over to replace Campbell. Huberdeau having trouble at his own blue line. And a penalty coming up. It'll be a Vancouver penalty in overtime, a hooking call against Chris Higgins. And his history about to repeat itself as the Canucks go shorthanded in OT.
Chris Higgins just gets his stick caught up. He lets it go. But doesn't matter. He gets called for the hook. Jonathan Huberdeau cutting across the middle, and Chris Higgins has the stick in the midsection, and Huberdeau makes sure everybody noticed.
So, Panthers go 4-on-3 in overtime. Penalty at 1 minute and 1 second. And can this Panther power play, which has been so disappointing to Florida hockey fans so far this season, produce a second goal on the night and a 3-2 win? Barkov to the blue line, Campbell, right point, Gilbert. Kopetsky's in front as the Panthers throw it around the outside. Campbell switches sides with Gilbert, who takes the pass. Tom Gilbert, Ryan Campbell takes the shot. Over to Gilbert, down to Barkov. Weak shot. Luongo lunging with the blocker, makes the save. Puck loose. Hamhuis goes after it. Fights off the check, gets it to Richardson, and he dumps the puck all the way down the ice. Here comes Brian Campbell. Minute 10 to go in the Higgins minor. Bukestad takes the pass, feeds Gilbert. Huberdeau's out there for Florida as well. Here's a pass in front. Campbell, lots of room. He shoots. Long with a save. Huberdeau the rebound. Luongo got the right pad out. Well, down on the ice, he kicked out the right leg, made the save, and Bieksa clears the puck down the ice.
That shorthanded breakaway save Roberto made in the first period would have made it 2-0. There's one. Same importance category.
Well, that one was clearly a game saver. Next goal wins. Luongo looked like he might be at the mercy of the Florida player there. Now here come the Canucks shorthanded. Burrows dumps the puck down with 25 seconds to go on the minor penalty to Chris Higgins. 36 shots for the Panthers. Kulikov carries in. Stops in the corner. Dumps the puck around for Brad Boyes. Under 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. Higgins standing anxiously in the penalty box as the Panthers set it up for one last chance. Boyes in front. Blocked. The exit clears. And Higgins is out of the box. Canucks dodge the bullet in overtime. It will continue with just under 2 minutes to go in sudden death. steals the puck. He was hooked briefly. Play goes on. Panthers had 3 shots on that power play. And the Canucks gain some momentum from the big penalty kill. Garrison trying to break up the rush. Panthers hold possession of the puck. Pass down low. Boy, centers it. Daniel Sedin came back to knock that pass away from Tom Gilbert. Henrik Sedin has the puck. Canucks are 3-on-2. Henrik's with the 2 defensemen. He carries in. Henrik looking in front. Fakes the shot. On the backhand, he centers it. Edler couldn't make contact. Daniel Sedin holds the puck into the blue line. Down for Henrik. Henrik Sedin back to Edler. Edler to Garrison. He shoots. Thomas the save. Rebound clear to the blue line, held in by Edler. Final minute of overtime. Here's Garrison again to Henrik Sedin. Henrik to Daniel as they throw it around to the Florida zone. Daniel cuts to the high slot. Daniel still with the puck. Feeds Henrik. Back to Garrison. Quick shot. Thomas the save. Rebound. Comes to Henrik Sedin in the corner. Puts it behind the net for Daniel Sedin. Daniel to Henrik. Back to Daniel. Cutting in front. Daniel trying to make a move on Campbell, who knocked the puck away. Garrison holds it in. Jason Garrison carries to the corner. Centers for Henrik. Henrik to the goal line to Daniel. Here's Edler. Shot it wide. What a chance for Alex Edler, but he put it off the toe of his stick. 25 seconds to go in overtime. Henrik Sedin looking in front. Centers, and Daniel couldn't tip it home. Great pressure from the Canucks in the late stages of overtime. And again, the Panthers fail to clear the puck. Daniel Sedin in the corner. Knocked down. Henrik after the puck comes back to Edler. Alex Edler. 5 seconds to go in overtime. Garrison shoots. Stopped by Thomas, and he hangs on with 3.3 seconds to go in overtime.
Roberto Luongo at the other end after Tim Thomas makes a good save on Jason Garrison. Jonathan Huberdeau is open in front, takes it off his shin pads, and Roberto Luongo. Out goes the right pad to make the save. Huberdeau, good quick hands, tries to drag it back. Here's the Panthers again with a nice pass out front to Tom Gilbert and Daniel Sedin, recognizing the play, getting the stick down. Alex Edler takes this hard pass, tries to one-time it, and misses blocker side.
Canucks with a clean face-off win could set up one late scoring chance. 3.3 on the clock. Santorelli against Gotch on the draw. And the Panthers win it. We're going to go the distance in this one as a shootout will decide this hockey game. The Panthers and Canucks, after an overtime that produced chances at both ends, winds up still tied at 2. Tim Thomas is a perfect 2 for 2 in stopping shots this season in his one and only shootout. So he's 1-0 on the year. And 31-27 in his career, as you see, stopping 147 of 203 career shootout attempts. Coming off his 200th career win in Colorado, there's Roberto Luongo, who will try to improve on a 1-2 record in shootouts this season. Canucks winners in New Jersey, lost to both Pittsburgh and Phoenix. Florida is 1-3 with the lone win coming against the Minnesota Wild. Santorelli to lead it off. Wide left. And he missed the net as he tried to go high short side on Tim Thomas.
I think he had the right idea, but he did have some room too as Tim Thomas is down with the right shoulder. Mike Santorelli pulls it back, and you can see he's got some room over the right shoulder, but misses the net.
Man, there was a lot of room, wasn't there? Here's Jonathan Huberdeau. 1 for 4 on the season, 3 for 8 in his career. Had his point streak in the hockey game at 3, but he can have a big impact here. He was speed. And he scores on a deke to the forehand.
Well, a big tall guy, and Jonathan Huberdeau is so confident in all the accolades in junior and rookie of the year. Fake backhand and then go forehand, and you can see he's got Roberto Luongo going on the backhand. Fake backhand, and you can see Roberto pushes off on the right skate and can't get back.
Alex Burrows in round 2. He's 1 for 1 of the year. And like Santorelli, he's out left, but he's serpentining in, as John Garrett would say. And he's stopped by the right pad of Thomas, who stayed right with him.
I thought Alex Burrows might backhand it as he went to his forehand on Tim Thomas. Thomas leaned in. He's going back and forth, slaloming down, and then goes straight to the forehand. Tim Thomas stays right with him.
The second shooter for the Florida Panthers, number 16, Alexander Barkov.
Barkov. And this could end early. Panthers, chance to end it. And shot wide on the backhand. So it'll be up to Chris Higgins in round 3.
Barkov, another one of the youngsters for this Florida Panther team, comes in, fakes forehand, goes backhand, and then just misses glove side. Roberto stayed right with him. That would have had to have been a perfect shot right underneath the bar.
The third shooter for your Vancouver
Well,
Canucks.
Higgins must score here, or it's another point squandered by Vancouver. Canucks had the lead in the third. And now Higgins will try to keep them alive. Hit the post, and the Panthers win. Tim Thomas mobbed by his teammates as the Panthers get the tying goal from Matthias halfway through the third. Fail on an overtime power play, but win it in a shootout, the final 3-2.
Chris Higgins pulls it on the forehand, and he has some room too, and just misses off the post. And Tim Thomas celebrates. Good move by Higgins, just not quite inch the other way.
Tim Thomas's regular season record against the Vancouver Canucks now up to 4-1. And he gets the victory here as the Panthers keep the Canucks winless on the homestand, now winless in 5. 0-3-2 in that stretch as the Panthers take it 3-2 in a shootout. Here's Murph.